Welcome back to Game 2 between Millenium and Huma, our final game of the day. And that was a pretty good showing from Millenium for their first game in the Spring Split. Pretty good.
Not bad.
Not too shabby.
Not bad. Yeah, I was really impressed actually. That was not only was it a good performance, it was a fun game as well.
Yes.
Like,
yes,
I mean, we had some slow games earlier, but that was a little bit more action-packed. Feeling pretty good about that. It was nice to watch. Masterwork putting on a bit of a clinic on Thresh, which wasn't one of the champions that were like, well, he's kind of known for this. Like, we know his Alistair's had montages. We've seen his Morgana. Now we can add Thresh to that list.
Yes, yes, we can. Very, very good. I do want to go to the drafting because, one, we mentioned the Callisto before the break.
Yep.
Also, on the side of Huma, interesting composition because they drafted what we were calling a pretty good pick composition with Morgana into Elise. Like, you land one CC, you're going to land the second one, into Tam Kench, who they left open and didn't pick up.
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, also they then picked the Tristana, which is fine. But if they'd had the Tam Kench, I would understand the Tristana a little bit more. Just because Trist, in the current meta right now, very good at pushing towers, but we're seeing a lot of Corki, a lot of, you know, these AD carries that spike earlier, that become more relevant far earlier into the game. The Callisto was there already, so you knew that they had an early game AD carry. Not a terrible pick, but I just don't know if I want to see Huma playing Trist again. Just because it's a little bit slower, a little too slow at times.
It's too slow, and also the early game plays after being killed by the 2v2 and then just jumping in to die again. Put him so far behind, he was never really going to come back into the game. I would like if he had gotten like a kill early, I would, you know, the game would have turned out differently. But I still wonder what happened with the short hop. Rocket jump?
That was such a weird one. I was like, I don't even think you can kill him if you got everything.
No, it's not like it combos like in Smash where it's like you short hop into like up air or something. And it's like, that's not how it works.
Careful, you'll upset a community.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to the Smash community.
Yeah, well, the only Smash that seems to be happening around here is
Huma getting
Huma
smashed.
just got a bit smashed by Millenium. But nevertheless, as we head towards Game 2, maybe we'll see whether we can end up at a 1-1 situation here. So excuse me if I'm mistaken. This is our 6th game. Would it be our first 1-1 if this goes to Huma? I'm putting you on the spot here. So let me remember the first games.
Let's go back to the games.
So we had IE and Mouse.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get to this champion select.
Maybe.
Shen, Callisto. Callisto banned away this time. Huma banning that away on blue side. Not even wanting to take it. I guess they're wanting to take a top lane pick here.
Okay.
Jack's banned. Would be a surprise if it wasn't Whirlip.
Okay.
These blue side bans are like killing me.
Yeah.
Inside. That this is actually this is starting to really become a little bit perplexing. Fiora was banned in the last game. So where do we go here? Corki is up. So there's so much up. Graves, Corki, Lissandra are all first pickable here. But then you give Corki, Lissandra over to Millenium if they want it. Tam Kench is up. What else was played in the last game?
Unbottle the Alex Ottle.
So it's only the Graves that's traded in for the Callisto now, but just that the bans are kind of flipped.
Okay, so there is a lot of choices for Millenium, and they've got 40 seconds to think about it. Tam Kench would make sense. I want to see Masterwork back on Thresh. That's what I want to see. Or Alistair. Either of those work.
All I'll say is thank God it's not banned, because then I think my brain would start to hurt. if it was like somehow put in here, like they leave other things open.
Yeah, they ban like Thresh, Morgana, Alistair.
Well, Morg is open, as is Thresh. If they're looking for Tam Kench, Morg might make sense here. If they want single target again, where they can save a target.
Or they can
I don't think it's going to be Team or Mordekaiser.
Or let Huma pick it again and just be like, well, we have Tam Kench.
But this is a risky...
Very risky.
Oh, you were playing with... I was like, this is dangerous.
Accidental Teemo log.
Yeah, whoa, that would have completely messed with my brain. Like,
yeah,
that would have been like, what do we do here? Like,
when was the last time we saw Teemo?
100%. It was when,
Game is 2.
At that moment, that was just like that. You just see the picture happen of the last time that you and I were sat here when a Teemo got locked in.
100% win rate, boys.
Oh, take it away. Over 2 games as well.
Yeah.
Damn it.
You've ruined it forever. Ruined.
Oh, dear.
Okay, waiting for these 2 picks. These teams are spending a lot of time on this draft compared to the last one as well.
So there are still a lot of the meta picks available still for Huma. We've got Lucian, Lissandra, Corki still up. What else is available?
Alistair?
From supports, Alistair is available. Yeah, there are options. Honestly, the world's Huma's oyster at this point.
Yeah.
It depends what kind of composition they want to form.
All right.
So I find this a little interesting because you've got burst out of the jungle, catch potential, and the ability to like take up a lot of time from Lissandra as well with burst. And then you opt for a Janna, which is disengage, which I don't mind. Janna's not a problem, but it doesn't synergize with the other 2 picks that you've picked up.
Yeah.
One thing to say is that Graves, Lissandra aren't innately tanky, so now you do offer a shield and the ability for other knockups. Just not like the same as in Alistair. With a Morgana locked in, you wouldn't really want to go that route anyway, but just kind of highlighting that there are a bit of a synergy difference with these 2 picks.
So far, it's more like buying time though. Like Lissandra jumps in, buys time with the ultimate. Graves buys time with his item build, going like more Sterex, and then Janna kind of does the same thing as well with ultimate and shield. On the opposite side, Millenium have picked up the Rek'Sai and Lucian, so I'm going to be going with strong in the laning phase. So because of that one, that does leave Corki open for Holy Phoenix if he wants it.
Yeah, into the Lucian, I think that's a fine matchup, or at least it is overall composition-wise. Still have to be careful in the laning phase.
Yeah.
So Corki Janna is pretty good for sieging though. That is one thing that you look at. Like these 2, with them, by themselves, are pretty good in that kind of setup. So now it kind of rounds itself out because there's a Scion in the top lane, or it could be jungle expecting top. Don't really see jungle Scion too much.
No, we don't see a lot of Scion in general. We do in other regions, but not EU.
Yeah, not in Europe. We see it from time to time. I want to say, have we seen it this season in LPL yet?
I think we've seen it recently. I can't name the game.
Yeah, same. It rings a bell somewhere.
Yeah.
Anivia was left up, surprisingly. Well, unsurprisingly. I mean, we had so much health spanned in this setup, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that locked in. Anivia into Lissandra, not the worst matchup, because what does Lissandra do? Goes in, uses everything, and Nivea's like, well, you got my passive.
Yes, which didn't even get popped last game.
Yeah, so it's now on pretty. I'm figuring that's going to get locked in. And what that does do is says to Huma, well, you've got a Corki, you've got a Janna, and you've got a Lissandra, so you're going to want to try and sit in front of our towers, but it's not going to last very long.
No, and Nivea's there, and if Huma were constructing this composition for that reason, they must have known Anivia's going to come up because one, he was played it before, it's his signature champion, so they knew they were going to walk into an Anivia, and they had last pick because they were on red side. So Huma knew this, so will it still work? That's what we have to find out. Will it still blend?
With the blend tech. Blender.
Yeah.
Nice. At this point, you look at Lissandra picked after Tahm Kench, so if Lissandra does go for the assassination potential on Hans Sama, you have the Black Shield, you have Tahm Kench once again. Could be difficult to lock him down. So that is one thing to keep track of as we get ready to go into this game. Let's see if Holy Phoenix can have a better game, though.
Yes.
I actually felt very underwhelmed by Holy Phoenix in the last game with the Tristana. Weird decisions, wasn't given the opportunity to carry, really, with the setup, and that was all she wrote. But this time, Corki, this is one of the top meta AD carries. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, can definitely make those plays in the early game, and with the Ice Toboggan Corki. He's got everything in his court. Well, make sure to join the discussion once again on Twitter. Hashtag HMAWin or hashtag MILWin. And we'll be checking in on what you think later in the game. But this will be a very interesting one because Huma, they kind of rolled over and died last game, but they have so many carries on this team. We literally said they were this team who has triple carries.
Triple carries. Let's see if any of them can take that mantle upon themselves now. Godbro on this Lissandra could be the one to look at, as we are seeing Millenium. They did this last week. They headed with the 5-man stack and got warded out really quickly, and it came to nothing. This is on the other side. So now they're looking bottom side. Does Holy Phoenix drop the ward?
Nope, but he
He
wants
sees
to
them
run
anyway.
away very quickly.
He's like, well,
There's the ward.
yeah.
Yeah, Masterwork just had to throw out a binding. Masterwork on Morgana this game. Will not be going into the mid lane top lane. Less flashy. Like, you can make some really, really nice bindings, but you can't do the same things as Thresh. You can't do the same things as, like, Alistar, like a cool, like, combo, for example. So we'll see what he does this game. It's kind of selfish from me. I just want him to play something cool.
Go
play LeBlanc.
Cool. Play something cool for me. However, Santorin has opted for the pink ward. We saw this in a previous game with the Elise from Joko. No, Docgo.
Yes.
Ah.
Is that an anagram?
No, it's not. There's no
J instead of G. Damn.
So close. We saw that in the SK series, so just trying to get a little bit of vision control early. But Santorin, after seeing the 5 players all bottom lane, knows he doesn't have to drop that pink ward anyway yet, so he's going to hold on to it.
A ward has been placed by Huma as they went into the top jungle, so they know exactly where Joko is the start of the jungle, and when he goes to red buff as well. So that's some nice early information. Once again, going for this Grump, and we'll just head back into lane. So that was fine, and Holy Phoenix and Jasuikas will do the same. I wonder if they shared XP.
So I will tell you that now, actually. They did share.
Okay.
And both teams shared, yep. It's fairly uncommon these days to actually split that XP. Ooh, binding into the minion line.
However, we saw that in...
We saw it one game this week.
Yeah, SK and Copenhagen Wolves. The level 2 punish, though, and Holy Phoenix has to flash away. Also, the Ignite comes down as Jasuikas taking some more damage from Masterwork. And a bit more damage as he backs on off. Hans Sama took a lot of punishment from that trade, so he has to pop his potion, but still, level 2 punished and not read by Huma.
Yeah, not read, and honestly, like, this Janna setup in a lane is pretty easy to read. Is just read for the shield timing. As long as the shield isn't there, you can trade into it. Masterwork even trading flash for flash, and that is a trade that you'll take. AD carry flash for support flash. The only difference really between these two now is if Masterwork steps out of line and gets caught, he doesn't have anything like a Valkyrie that Holy Phoenix has. So Holy Phoenix may still be able to escape situations where Masterwork can't.
Pretty in this mid lane up against Godbro, Lissandra versus Anivia. So still this mid lane where last time we had Morgana. Could be less happening with at least a one-on-one interaction. They have the ability to roam, like we saw from Pretty, and Godbro and Lissandra. Pretty good mobility from Glacial Claw.
And has the teleport again. Huma opting for that double teleport style for a second game in a row. It did them barely anything when it comes to actual winning the game last time. They did get one exchange in the bottom lane that turned in their favor because of it, but that was really the only influence. That's the second binding that's hit a minion from Masterwork. And now Hans Sama goes forward. That's an odd trade here.
Yeah, I'm not reading from the same page, I have to feel. Hans Sama goes all the way back to turret while Masterwork takes some basic attacks from Jasuikas. That's just some trading in the bottom lane. Joko will take away this Rift Scuttler and get that early vision. May even go for the Herald. No, he's going to head over the wall.
I don't think on his own at this point.
Yeah, I was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's not going to try and take that on. It's not really easy to take down without a second helper, especially this early on in the game. Haven't seen Sion in quite a long time, but against a Tahm Kench, you kind of have to feel like it's another lane that is going to go fairly neutral. Unlike the Gnar in the last game, where you're kind of expecting Werlib with the amount of snowballing that Santorin was trying to do for him, you would expect them maybe to. Oh, Holy Phoenix!
Oh, the Q did not hit from Hans Sama. Just didn't angle it correctly on that minion. And I didn't angle my words right either.
Hans Sama has flash.
Another binding onto Jasuikas. He lines himself up against the wall. Holy Phoenix trading off some damage. Hans Sama turns his attention to the Corki.
Got the heal as well. Exhaust is still not available. They got the heal off from Holy Phoenix. Joko has found a pink ward himself. And what that resulted in is a ping up in the top lane. They're looking to go on Kaze, perhaps.
Oh, and he lines up against the wall. He immediately has to go into E, and they just wait to out Werlib, taking a lot of damage from the tower. Barely escapes. Kaze still retreating. Santron takes another turret shot. They'll be disengaging bot lane, though. Joko was looking for the dive, but Godbro roaming in from the mid lane with the TP, the flash, the Ring of Frost, and Joko should be going down. The heal from Hans Sama. He stays alive, and Godbro bound up by Masterwork.
So much used for nothing overall from both teams. So at the end of all of that, we get the teleport down from GodBro. Pretty even tried to, I believe Pretty flashed to try and interrupt the teleport from GodBro in the middle lane. Top lane, no summoners were used by Whirlib. We had Kaze using both, and he managed to stay alive in that situation. It's all because Santorian was taking too many tower shots, couldn't convert the low health into a kill from Kaze. Whirlib survived on like no health at the same time as well, so well balanced out of Huma not to die in that situation, but at the same time Kaze managing to hold his own in the 1v2.
Yeah, and both top laners went for Barmy Cinder. This is what you do when you feel no threat at all from your enemy laner. And it's just like, well, I'm just going to do this for wave clear on the utility versus going for the defensive option.
Joko dropped real low.
Ooh. Masterwork knew where he was going to land, but not quite there in time. And also, with the max range binding, very easy to dodge out. Joko in the top lane.
This is was that Kaze just saying get back?
Yeah.
It's just like,
leave.
have this minion and leave.
Joko goes back. Did he hit level 6 from that? I was thinking like maybe he went top to get level 6.
Leech it.
Yeah.
Just that's why he threw
the minion over there.
minions.
I don't think so though.
Keep looking at the game. I'm gonna go double check.
We need to know for science. God, bro. I'm gonna take out this minion. Basically, even in the middle lane, from what we really expected, it was just the most action is gonna come from those roams.
He did hit level 6 off the minion. That's actually a really cool little interaction. Nice.
Okay. Sweet. I didn't see it happen the first time. I was just like, why would he do that? That seems really weird.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like,
yeah, because he couldn't go for a camp and didn't want to go to the opposite side of the jungle. So.
And it gave him the Rek'Sai ult, so it's fairly important then to get back out on the map. Nice. That's thinking with portals.
It is. It really is. Godbro in the middle lane just got pressured out by Pretty. He's out of mana now, so he's not going to kill him. But Joko getting pressure over the wall. Godbro does not decide to stay in lane. Has also used his flash, so wants to be more defensive. Santrin takes away this pink ward in the top side of the map. Bottom lane, the Warhammer picked up by Handsama, and Holy Phoenix on his way to the Phage. Handsama, of course, looking for his Essence Reaver. There you go.
Yeah, that is the word. Holy Phoenix is caught!
Bounds up, and Handsama, the aggressive play with the culling as well, gets the first blood, was exhausted, so just weak has putting down the hurt. Whirlib coming in from the top lane, going through this vision though, but Whirlib has no real way to get in range, and there's no mid lane to help out. Santrin, that's a long walk for him to do anything, and Whirlib will scream at Masterwork, but he'll just walk away from it.
Handsama gets himself out of that situation, still had his flash available, so even if he had been pushed out, he could have just flashed over that wall. This is going really well once again for Millenium. I mean, look at the CS difference already bot lane. As we go into a replay, it is about 15, but this was just to catch onto Holy Phoenix. No real way of Holy Phoenix staying alive in this situation, and now just Suicast on this Janna has no pressure to do anything here. This is already well outside of the instant Q range, ever since it got nerfed down to about 800 range, so very, very small compared to how it used to be.
Yep, Masterwork just constantly landing these bindings. He did have a couple minion bindings in lane, but he's thinking outside of the minions. He's imagining they're not there, and then it would have hit.
I don't think that works that way. It's
just needs to take smite. It's what you do on Blitzcrank.
Gets the stun?
Too early.
Yeah. Only by like a split second, though. Close.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with something in the Matrix, like he's beginning to believe.
Oh dear.
But no, minion in the way means you can't bind. It does not go through minions, unlike the Flay that we saw in the first game, which did. Okay, so Joko going into the jungle now. We've seen very little interactions. Nice combo. Interactions from Santorin this game. Like he went into top lane briefly, and then has just generally been farming the jungle and is still behind Dyoko in terms of levels. Has now got the Warrior enchant and picked up Tracker's Knife instead of going for a different option. So that implies he's going to put down some aggressive vision rather than just like ward it for his lanes.
Yeah, if he actually can get there.
Yeah.
Is the risk for Santorin just
because
is dead.
And yeah, 3 seconds of binding means, yeah, that's not really going to help you. And went Swiftness Boots and not Mercs, so there's only reduced slows and not bindings.
Yeah, Holy Phoenix now has to Valk himself away. Holy Phoenix is not having the best series.
No.
Like, straight up. some of it is just the duo and just the team in general in the last game where it's like you can't really play Tristana into it. This time he's just getting pressured out heavily. Like, yes, it's difficult for a Corki that's on Phage only to deal with a Lucian with BF Sword, but it's got to this point, right? Like, he's been out-traded in the laning phase, hasn't been able to take the right trades. The Janna hasn't really offered too much either. There's no way of like engaging to do anything, especially against a Morgana, that you just kind of have to sit there and deal with it. And unless somehow the rest of your team comes and helps you out, you're in basically a fairly difficult matchup to play out.
It's really surprising for me because Holy Phoenix is not even like he had a poor performance in the qualifier finals, because then I'd be like, oh, well, he's just not been performing well since leaving Turkey. But he did really, really well. And in the space of a week, is doing significantly less well.
Nice attempted steal by Kaz, but ambitious. Only once in the history, I think, of League of Legends competitively has a Janna Tornado that I can remember stolen anything, and that was NALCS Season 3.
Yeah, we've had a lot of things that have stolen Barons, like Rainover's Axe stole a Baron.
That was pretty good.
Have we had a Prey Seeker? I want to say yes.
I know dragons have been taken by a Prey Seeker.
Yeah, Prey Seekers, yeah. Dragons.
Yeah. Holy Phoenix gets himself a little bit of farm, but look at how far behind he is still. 101 CS to 74. Pretty, they go aggressive on, had the cleanse.
And Werlib trying to get the
wall.
CC off the wall.
So nice. Yeah, it did.
Oh, because it bumped him out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because he didn't slam into it, he got bumped.
It spawned, like, on him.
Yeah.
So it just meant that, like, the terrain interaction collided.
Got it.
And rather than him, like, smash into it, it's just like, well, there's a wall here now.
That was really good from Pretty. Gets away from that gank. We're going to see it again, I believe.
I think so. So this is the engage onto Pretty. He has cleanse. Let's watch the interaction one more time.
Ooh.
Oh, well, that's Rek'Sai.
Hey, how's it going?
So yeah, you can see he's like half through the wall.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
Nice. Joko going to take away this ward.
Although, I'm wondering, is it...
What?
I feel like that's working as intended.
Yeah, it is.
I'm pretty sure
how
it
it works.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking is like. But I very rarely do you see a Scion like interrupted from behind.
Did that actually just happen?
That actually just happened.
And the knockup. Werlib's not even going to kill Kaze.
Oh my god.
Ultimate.
Oh, that'll do it. That's what happens if you stand around mocking people for too long.
Yeah.
And now Santorin has been unleashed, I feel.
Maybe. In the bot lane, Masterwork lands the binding onto Suicast. The flash forwards from Handsammer gets the exhaust and has to burn the Monsoon as well. Masterwork just doesn't stop landing bindings.
Fanboy.
I'm holding my hands up at it like I am now a fanboy of Masterwork. Like, I'm not ashamed.
Of good plays.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Millenium right now are in a good situation in this bottom lane matchup. Santorin's looking for mid lane. Pretty no cleanse this time.
And there's the ultimate. Godbro is dropping low though, and will go down to Joko. Kaze into the mid lane. Eats up Joko. He's on the way. He wants some kills onto Santorin. He's getting in range.
That was so good by Pretty though. Like, to read the Lissandra claw coming in, he actually flash frosted as Lissandra arrived, followed it up with the E.
Bot lane, dash into the bush, gets him with the double tap, and just sweet cast. He chased a long way, knowing his AD carry was dead. And Masterwork, this should be a kill. Point blank binding, teleport down from Werlib. Oh, okay.
It's Santorin's here.
Is ready for the kill, and Handsammer's just going to try and waste his time, but he's dead.
I feel like Huma are getting frustrated by Millenium like making these outplays.
Yeah.
It feels like they're trying to force things, like in this bottom lane, like trying to fight, chasing, just to get anything that they can. I mean, they're not at the point where Huma should be fighting. They need Corki to get to a point where he can reliably siege, but he's so far behind, he's not even at Trinity Force yet. I mean, it is around the time where you'd expect an on-time Trinity Force to be completed. Binding lands on Willib, they are caught behind enemy lines.
Teleport coming in from Godbro, and arrives just a little too late before the disengage comes in from Millenium, and this is not how I expected the bottom lane to go. 2v2 outplays I expected, not from Millenium, up against Holy Phoenix. Okay, Handsama, strong solo queue player, a lot of hype around him. Masterwork did pretty well with Morgana, that's all we really saw. And they are just getting flat out outplayed in these 2v2s. Take a look at this.
Yeah, this again is just Handsama having more damage. Holy Phoenix in a situation where he knows he doesn't have the damage to trade here, and just Cast has followed him. I mean, this straight up, in this situation, is a fight that Huma should not be looking to take. Because you're against, like, a Lucian that I think he had Essence Reaver completed at that time, but regardless, he at least had like the BF sword part of it, like the massive amount of damage. He has the Essence Reaver now against no Trinity Force Corki. Like that's not a fight that you want. Oh, package, however.
The instant Black Shield mitigates the ultimate from Godbro. Handsama walks out alive. Holy Phoenix under attack. Kaze comes into the fight looking for a kill.
Masterwork again with just one of these plays that's like, wow, okay, that was a pretty sick play. But Millenium as a unit are pushing down the mid tower. Huma, what can they do to hold on to this? I'm like looking at this game, and Millenium, even on such low health bars against like a Graves, they're just unable to be stopped at this point. Like Huma, we've been expecting so much more from, and Millenium, just they're showing why they're so good at team fighting. I mean, that's what we heard from a lot of people before this, and I was like, I don't know whether I buy into the hype, because you can be like good to a point in a lot of small tournaments. And that's not discouraging like tournaments that take place outside of Challenger at all, like, because it's still against mostly the same teams. The difference is, like, to do it consistently is the difficult bit, and now we're gonna have to see whether they can do this week in, week out. Here comes the Black Shield that you're talking about. As the animation was already beginning from Godbro. Godbro is like, I have this kill 100%. And the shield comes out at the last second. In comes Kaze. Gets knocked backwards, but at this point the fight's already over for Millenium. They've already won that.
Good lord. Millenium just going absolutely off in this game. Wait, I think his ultimate just got cancelled again by Pretty. Yeah, he wanted to engage. He was interrupted, and now the chase onto the Sweet Cat. As the culling, Whirlib's gonna charge up the Q and tries to fully charge, but he just stands in place. Here, let me line myself up for a Flash Frost. He goes down, and now he's trying to chase after Pretty, who jumps forwards, finds himself a second kill onto just Sweet Cat. Godbro with the defensive ultimate, but what are you gonna do from here? Masterwork finds himself a kill. I deserve that one. And Frost Bomb over the wall does not even get Gyoko. Finds Pretty with the Frost Bomb, and now Santron has to defend this wave by himself.
Man, there is so much that's going wrong for Huma. And honestly, I feel like so much of it started in the pick and ban phase. Yeah. Like, they drafted this kind of composition knowing that Anivia was a likely pick for Millenium. You draft a composition that, like, you're looking to siege against a strong wave clear mid laner that has already been played multiple times by Pretty, and we've seen how strong it is. And then you kind of draft this comp that is looking to engage with such unreliable engage against an Anivia. That's 2 for 2 from Pretty, just to wall off Whirlib. And honestly, I feel like Huma were not expecting that interaction to be so prevalent here. I feel like that's not something that you'd realistically take into account. Scion into Anivia doesn't happen every day.
Well, I feel like most of competitive players now seen why you don't do that in this game. Also, I called out that Whirlib was just standing still for I'm going to hold that thought because Masterwork may be under attack. Yeah. No, he was charging, which I thought he was. He got bound first, so he couldn't move even if he wanted to. He shouldn't have got bound, but you know, it wasn't by choice that he decided to stay still.
I kind of forgive him a little bit on that.
Yeah.
Godbro is dead.
I'm cutting him some slack.
Yeah, you can cut him just like he's trying to cut people down with that lumberjack axe right now.
He's trying, but can't say. He's under the tower and just gonna eat Whirlib. Now walking away. So, still has a Z. He may have to pop it.
Axes aren't the best tool for fishing. Is something
Wow, that is confidence. He holds on to it, eats him again. Now he goes into it before the damage comes in. I think Kaze's still pretty dead though, because they have overextended quite badly.
I will draw your attention to the top lane though.
Oh yes, my attention is being drawn.
Millenium are pushing an inhibitor turret. So all of that was just taking time. That actually took all 5 members of Huma's attention to deal with Kaze and Joko, and they lose an inhibitor turret because of it.
Teleport in from Lissandra though from behind.
Cleanse is available.
It is. Who's he going to go on to? Has to go on to someone else. Black Shield comes up and ults himself because he held on for it for so long. Handsammer just unloaded, and there's the ultimate. The Cunning takes him out. Wurlib looking for the damage on the Pretty, but he has to run away.
This is actually 3v5.
Santra and everyone has to run away. The jump away. Handsammer, however, this is way too aggressive. Walks into the wall and lines himself up for Santra. Kaze, though, is just alive from the bot lane trade. Comes into this Pretty, put into his passive. I actually don't think they have the damage to kill him in time because Kaze is going to eat the egg. And now he's going to run after Santorin. He spits Pretty back out, who has his combo alive and shut down onto Graves. He was the only thing that was really going well in this game. And Wurlib is just stuck in the middle of Joko and Pretty. He'll go down. He cannot even get in range with Death Surge. And that was another kill into the base. Someone else died.
Oh my...
What is going on?
Huma have tried everything this game. They have actually tried everything
Like
to fight Millenium. And Millenium have just gone, okay, well, I'll eat the egg. Okay, well, this'll happen. And they got Handsammer in that fight, and that is like it. And they lose an inhibitor in that entire exchange. That is so that must be so frustrating.
Okay, I'm gonna hold that for a second as Holy Things does have the package.
Is there, yeah.
Yeah, he could make a play here.
I don't think he can chunk through Joko.
I think he's just gonna die if he goes in.
He's only got Triforce.
Maybe he can kill Masterwork. I need to know what happened. Okay, we're gonna see this replay again.
Yeah, we are gonna see that
I'm gonna watch it
again. Also, just for the record, that when we go into replay, there is some tricky time things that mean we won't miss any action.
Timey-wimey, etc.
Yeah, exactly. Wibbly wobbly. Double stun from Pretty. Again, that caught Holy Phoenix and Wurlib. Man, Pretty stuns have been on point. And I'm trying so hard not to just like only talk about positives from Millenium, because there are issues. They are playing very overconfident, like that from Handsammer. That is way too overconfident, but he knows that Kaze is here to come in through the backside of this. Again, a little overconfidence by Pretty to be surrounded by this many people, but I guess we found out what's on the menu for breakfast here, as Kaze, I guess in this situation you call those over easy.
Yeah, it's too good.
Oh man.
Santorin gets 2 targets to blow up, and it still wasn't enough in that fight. But let me just praise Huma for a second, because they have been finding really... Oh my god,
I have to turn away.
They have been finding really creative ways to try and come back into the game, try and find trades, but every time Millenium does something more creative to make the counterplay happen. Just Recast, he's dead. This is a fact that you just have to come to terms with.
Nothing has worked for Huma.
No, like against any other team in the situation, like a Challenger team just joining in the Challenger series, like Huma's plays would work every single time. I did not expect the reactive plays from Millenium to be this good, and now they're closing in the Holy Phoenix.
They're just walking past the... This is ridiculous. Like, this is actually going to be problematic with this amount of confidence.
Yep. Kaze should be dead here. Like, he shouldn't. He shouldn't stay alive.
But he is.
He's out.
He's actually alive. What is this game?
I don't know, Stress. You tell me. Because I don't know.
I don't even, like, Huma must be tilted off this. I'm sorry.
Anyone would be tilted.
I'm tilted watching this.
Yes.
Watching Huma try and throw everything
and the
at
kitchen
Millenium.
sink.
Like, man, there have been, don't get me wrong, there have been misplays in this game.
Yes.
This has been a very fun game to watch,
yeah.
just from like a how is this happening perspective.
Every time Huma go in, I'm like, that's a good engage. Oh, it's not a good engage. Like, they find so many good ways to go for fights, which should work.
But the thing is, they've just been so far behind.
Yes.
For like the entire game.
But even
right
so.
now, Millenium being like 13,000 gold up. That is why nothing is working, because they lost so much in the beginning of this game that despite having better engages, being 5v3, being like, again, just being able to catch people out almost on their own, Millenium have just been too far ahead. They have too many items, too much resistances, extra levels. Everything you need to stay relevant in these fights is on Millenium's side, and it's all from just the setup at the beginning, the inability of Godbro to actually get kills in this game. He's 0-6-1. They haven't been able to do anything. He's been denied at every turn by Masterwork and the rest of Millenium.
All of those ultimates went on Joko, and he just didn't die.
He just walks out.
Yeah. And Samus is going to dash over the wall, and Willem takes some more damage, and there's another wall. This, yeah, Millennium
Also,
now
like,
going for the bottom turret, looking for this final inhibitor tower.
That interaction with the wall on Cyan has neutralized
Yes, the pick.
Huma's top lane pick, like almost completely. And now Huma are trying to defend their last inhibitor turret, and I don't think they're going to be able to at this point. It's a matter of time for Millennium before they can just whittle down the health bars of Huma. Huma don't exactly have too much to respond with either. Holy Phoenix is fairly low on mana. Cass has been caught.
Rest in peace. Joko is like a vulture right now,
Three-man
looking for
stun.
someone to kill. But unfortunately, his team is just killing everyone too quickly, so he can't really chime in for an assist. Pretty.
Oh,
He
what?
actually gets
What?
out.
He actually got out.
He's actually.
Oh my god.
He's actually. Oh my.
This is heartbreaking for Huma. I'm
Yes, it
sorry.
is.
Like,
Oh.
and the fact
At
is,
his
like,
pace.
Millennium are like staying around. You've got Kaze like spamming emotes as soon as
Yeah.
he stays alive. It's.
Man.
I feel bad for Huma at this point.
0-7 Godbro is something I never thought I would ever see in my life.
Especially on like a Lissandra, who is a champion we know he can play. And we know it's a champion he can carry on, and it's a meta pick as well. It's a champion that should be fairly safe, because you just ult yourself. He's had to ult himself so many times, just because then people just show up and kill him.
So we have 3 carries on this team.
Yeah.
World of Godbro, Holy Phoenix, and Sandrin is the one with all the kills this game. The guy who usually sets up those lanes for success, and has actually gone Grace this game.
He is playing Graves, so, I mean, that's not too different to what you'd expect from a Graves,
Sure.
but is different from what you'd expect from Santa. And Cass is caught out again. Like, this is like the 4th or 5th time this has happened now.
Yeah.
Your
Well,
jungle
there's the
is
ult,
not safe.
And
Well, of course it was a goodly.
If only-
goodly.
Goodly.
Well
If-
timed stuff.
If only EUCS had fantasy, this would be the dream game. You would just win the week.
Yeah,
You just win.
you would. Just like Millennium are looking to do right now. They didn't even go Baron. Like,
No.
normally at this point, with 26 minutes in, Millennium have 21 kills. They've been averaging, like, just under a kill a minute in this game.
Oh, it's actually 27 minutes just before our Twitter
Yeah.
analyst proves you wrong.
Yeah,
Stress.
sorry. Maths is not much
I
fun
got
for me.
you. I got your back. Werlib, he is meant to be the tank. He's quite dead, and now Kazi closing in onto Godbro. There's the culling,
Oh, but the
defensive
Devour's
ultimate.
coming. Oh,
And while all
the
of this is
timing.
happening, Pretty is killing the Nexus turrets. Joker will actually go down, but Kaze in grey health is walking into the enemy team. And Millennium playing with their food. This is almost disrespectful.
It's border. It's getting there.
It's getting there. There's the package. Can they make anything happen? I think the Nexus is dying too quickly. Handshammer goes down. Pretty is still alive. This is a 1-on-2, and Huma may have disengaged and stopped this
But the
from
minions,
happening.
though.
The E comes out, and that's a flash from Jasui Cass.
They can't.
That's a good point. I'm actually not sure if Sandrin can clear these
No, he
minions.
can't. He can't clear 2 waves of super minions realistically. Like, because he can't target the supers. He can only target the
Here
front
comes
line.
Werlib.
And that means
Oh, he gets
Millennium
stopped again.
are gonna win this game with such a demanding performance. That was ridiculous.
That was not what I was expecting to see today. Yeah. Like, yeah.
a little bit disrespectful as well. Kaze for like the entire
little bit.
series is just like control full.
Yeah, specifically that moment where they'd caught him and they knew he was going to flash over the wall and start recalling, and then But
man.
yeah, I mean, Huma, I was not expecting that performance. Like, Santrin did well in that last game, but Godbro 1-8-1, Holy Phoenix 1-4-5, multiple times in lane, got outplayed 2v2. Like, these are players like who have crazy pedigrees and have destroyed players who, again, have their own fantastic pedigrees. Like, Godbro has been in the scene for a long time. Holy Phoenix and TCL has played at Worlds. Top lane, World in Giants has just been really good as a player in that team.
Didn't matter though, Pulse.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter against this Millennium lineup who have been playing together for a while. We talked about how they have a gaming house, they have a lot of support behind them, and they look really solid, actually, like really good. I'm trying to think of other teams that have kind of come in and dominated this hard. I guess I'd look at the likes of, and I'm not comparing them, just to put this out there, the kind of performance that we saw from Origin, where it was just like, well, we don't care what you do. we're going to win this game. And that's what Millennium looked like in this series. I don't think they're to that level that we saw, but nevertheless, their coordination and team play is probably, from all of the 6 teams we've seen today, probably the top. Not even probably, is better than seemingly every other team we saw.
Yeah, this is a good example of a team who's been built up from the ground up by an organization from Millennium, has a French talent as well for a French organization, and has just done really well. This has highlighted a lot of problems for Huma. Maybe it was an off week because they just did nothing well that they did when we've previously seen them, like in the qualifiers, even in the lead up to the qualifiers. They still had really good decision-making even from behind, but got thwarted at every single turn. If you put them against some of the other teams we've seen today, they could have come up big with wins.
I think like a big problem for Huma was they drafted themselves into a really weird place. Like you ban out so many top laners, and then Millennium also ban out top laners. So you end up in a situation where you can't pick anything, and then Tahm Kench is up and you don't pick it in both games. Like you go for the Graves, then you go for in game 2. Kalista was Morgana Elise was rotation 1, game 1. I feel like you just gave Millennium, like, well, you have the best top lane and we'll just pick the scraps. Even though 6 top lane bans. Like, that's real suspect to me when it comes to the draft.
They also did not react to the opposing draft.
Yeah.
Because in this game, they picked up a Siege composition who wants to clear waves and Siege. Not going to happen against Anivia, who was left up until the final pick. They know Pretty plays it, played it in game 1. And in game 1, left Tahm Kench open, and also picked a pick composition and then started drafting some other stuff, but primarily looking for those picks with the Morgana, with the Elise, and then Tahm Kench just walks up and eats them, and then
good luck with the pick.
it doesn't matter if you CC them or not. So it was really weird. Drafting issues, a lot of problems.
Lot of problems.
Well,
we'll see if they can fix them, because Huma still, I'm not counting them out. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yep.
You can't win the round robin in week 1. You can certainly lose it though if you start losing too many games. So it's still all up for grabs.
It is, and don't get me wrong, I definitely feel that Huma can pick up some wins, especially from the performances we've seen today from those other teams. But do remember to tune in again next Tuesday, where we will be back with another 6 full games, with Huma versus SK Gaming to start off the day, Inspire versus Copenhagen Wolves, and Millennium versus Mouse Sports will be ending the day.
Now, if you missed any of the action from today, head over to LOL Esports, where you can watch the games on the VODs Hub.
Yes, and while Challenger is done, League doesn't stop here. Tune in again at 2 AM CET or 5 PM Pacific time for Primetime League.
And just to keep that in check, that is tomorrow that Primetime League
Wednesday
returns. So Wednesday into Thursday night. And the North American Challenger Series returns right after PTL at 3 AM CET, 6 PM Pacific time.
Yeah, and that does bring week 1 of the European Challenger Series Spring Split to a close. So from myself, Stress, and the Challenger broadcast team, thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you again next week.
Nope. Cosq has to respect the gank again, though. Like, the top side is warded. Dan has been spotted.
Flash, slow down, gets the knock-up, gets the stun as well, and the auto-attacks in from Dan with the Queen's Wrath. Sevix, CC'd under the tower, and Cosq outplays them in the 1-on-2 and picks up the kill. This may be one of the best chances that Mouse have to win one. Wendelbo trying to zone people away. That is a lot of Ren stacks. All that Woolite has been doing is hitting that.
He missed it!
Dan gets the steal, and now this could be the fight that Mouse have been looking for. Cosq gets locked down. Sevix will take him out on the outside, but meanwhile, inside of the pit, it was the meat grinder. Inspire picks up that kill. Tarek jumps in, picks up the kill onto Woolite. But just Cass going with the Triumphant Roar Max, actually maxing E. Gives him more sustain. Hooked him out of the air. Fantastic by Masterwork. He'll have to flash away. Hollywings underneath the tower. Drags him in. First blood with the Rens.
Little bit extra from Werlib just to stay alive, but that was round 2 and Werlib was not getting away from that one. Nice Black Shield.
He's all the way. And because the Black Shield was down, he gets the Flay and the Fox. Pretty comes in, finishes them off. What was that?
Survived? What even was that? That was insane!
Lands the hook.
Right
and the
as
last
it was
second.
Oh my, that Lantern range as well? Are you kidding me? Santorin's looking for mid lane. Pretty no cleanse this time.
And there's the ultimate. Godbro is dropping low though, and we'll go down to Joko. Kaze into the mid lane. Eats up Joko. He's on the way. He wants some kills onto Santorin.